Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kindy Rockstars. This is the show that gives you the stories behind the songs from some of the best bands and singers that are making fun, informative, educational, catchy, and occasionally silly songs for children and families. I'm your host, Patrick Adams, and each episode of Kindy Rockstars will feature an artist and a featured song. So let's get to this week's show. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Kindy Rockstars. We have an album/EP feature tonight. It is the Halloween season, and Trevor Walls is joining us to talk about his Halloween EP. But Trevor, welcome back to the show. You were on the season last season with your band, the Zing Zangs. But let us know, what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
Yeah, thank you for having me back. Zing Zangless, first of all. I've been good. I'm here in Los Angeles, so I've kind of been doing my solo thing. I've been working a lot on comedy stuff and novelty stuff, which I think lends itself to this EP that I've got out. I've also, something else that really lends to it is I've also been lucky enough to work at Universal Studios. I'm a VIP tour guide over there, which is the best day job in the world as an artist. And so many of those classic horror movies like The Mummy, Frankenstein, Dracula, all of those crazy cool classic horror movies, I get to talk about them every day. So I didn't quite realize it, but now I'm looking back at all these songs and I'm like, well, that was obviously a huge reason why I ended up writing a bunch of songs about them. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to these days. I'm preparing to do more Zing Zang stuff very soon as well. So kind of just in the middle of a bunch of projects.
Awesome. So you're based in Canada originally. Are you in LA for a while, or are you going back to Canada?
We'll see. I make music and art wherever I can. I find that I've lived on the East Coast in Toronto. I've lived in Vancouver. I've lived in LA now. I think that no matter where I end up, my heart always leads back to making stuff like this. So no matter where I am, I'll be making this stuff. But we'll see how long I stick around here.
What kind of comedy things have you been up to?
Honestly, this is quite similar to it. I think this is my debut solo effort, and I'm really proud of it. And I think it's kind of a mesh of everything I love. I started out in stand-up with music. I did a lot of musical comedy, sort of Flight of the Conchords, Bo Burnham-esque comedy.
I love Bo Burnham.
Oh, he's the best. Absolutely the best.
Awesome.
I met him once. I won't get too into it. It's a long story, but he's lovely. And there's so many amazing musical comedians. It's kind of an underrated level of stand-up for sure. But that's what I started out doing on the East Coast when I first graduated and moved out. Because I'm an actor, I'm a comedian. I basically just do everything that makes my heart happy as an artist. So that's really where I began with music and comedy together. And then, of course, during the pandemic, as we covered in season 2, I started the Zing Zangs, and I realized that there's just a huge part of my heart for making Kindy stuff. And it's because of people. I've been really influenced by Jack Foreman from Recess Monkey and Billy Kelly, who's actually on this EP. There's some really terrific artists out there who kind of find the line between funny songs and kids songs. And I love the all ages aspect of it. So I'm ashamed to admit, I was doing quite raunchy stuff when I first started doing stand up and music together. I was definitely playing to comedy clubs and bars full of adults. So I always kind of felt a pressure to write songs about adult themes. And that's not really what I love doing. So I think that since moving here and being a Zing Zang and doing my own stuff, now my comedy stuff is also kind of all ages. Same with my radio show, the Goober Hour, just everything I do. I take a lot of inspiration from artists like Weird Al Yankovic, and
Love Weird Al Yankovic.
oh, he's the best. I got to do a photo shoot with him here in LA.
Oh, awesome.
It was awesome. But yeah, I love him. I love the Aquabats. I have a friend in them, and um, there's just so many incredible comedians in this weird genre of what is this? So I guess it's novelty, but I love that art form, and I think I've always kind of fit into that. So with this EP, I'm finally finding the balance of all ages stuff. So next time, if you ever see that I'm in concert in your city or something, it probably will not be R rated. It'll probably be this weird blend of all ages oddity.
Awesome. All right, well, let's talk about the EP. It's called the Halloween EP. We are in the Halloween season. So what we're going to do here is we'll have you kind of talk through the different songs and the different artists that you work with, and then we will play the EP from start to finish here on the show. So with that, tell us about the EP.
I'm excited. So yes, this is Merry Halloween. It's I don't really know why I made a Halloween EP. It was sort of an accident. It goes back to me finding my groove with this new stuff. And the first song that I released solo, actually right before the Zing Zang stuff came out, was Monsters Lament, which is the last song on this EP. I released that not really thinking of it as a Kindie song, just kind of making a song. And to my surprise, a ton of kids' radio stations were reaching out and playing the song. Robert and Kathy over at Kids Corner, they've been a really big supporter of my stuff, and they just loved it. They were playing it nonstop. It was taking me by surprise because I was ready to release the Zing Zang stuff and be a kids musician on one, like sort of my Superman, like Zing Zang by day, Trevor Walls by night. But it was all sort of starting to blend into the same world. And that's a big thanks to that song coming out and people receiving it. So since then, I've started navigating that, and my songs have been playing. Luckily, I'm very grateful to say they've been playing on different radio stations and shows that are for all ages, which I think is really cool. So I thought I can't remember making the decision, but I was like, it's about time to make a Halloween EP. I should also mention I'm not a fan of horror. All of my Halloween memories are very G-rated, and to this day, my partner showed me Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you're a kid, don't watch that movie. And I mean, my reaction to it was like I was a part of it or something. I'm terrified of scary things. So those classics like Monster Mash and different Halloween episodes of Disney shows I liked, those were and are my Halloween nostalgia. They're the reason because I do love Halloween, but I mean, I work at Universal, but you will not catch me at Halloween Horror Nights. So I think it just kind of fit that I made an EP that's sort of reminiscent of that nostalgia and nothing that is too scary. And it sort of uses those scary characters and elements from the different movies, but puts them in a much friendlier circumstance and context. And I think that's kind of where the comedy lies as well, for a lot of the songs. So, we've got Monsters Lament, which is the last song. The first song, I thought, okay, it was sort of one of the last ones I had written. I thought, okay, well, this is accidentally a Halloween EP. I better release it for Halloween. So I thought, what better way to start your Halloween EP than with a Christmas song? So there's Jingle Bells. It's a very Christmas-y song. And the joke, if you're ready for it, is that the lyrics are about Halloween. It's pretty genius. I'm just kidding. It's just silly, but I love it. I got my friend Jason Sakaki, who's an incredible actor. He was just in Devil in Ohio on Netflix, and he's got a Disney movie called Prom Pact coming out next year. So he's definitely doing amazing stuff with his career. I was very happy that he lent some time to doing this with me. And he's an amazing singer. So it was really cool to have him sing on it. He's got such a Christmassy voice. Like I actually Christmas pop song from a few years back called Christmas Wish. So it was sort of full circle. I said, we got to get Jason for this. So that was a lot of fun. Then there's also a song called Heartbreak at Haunted Mansion, which is sort of a musical number from a musical that does not exist about the universal monsters that I'm around so often, like Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, the Mummy, all of those types of I won't say villains, but characters from the Universal monster movies. This is sort of their tale of woe, of why it's actually incredibly sad to be a monster and nobody treats them with respect other than during October. And I was so lucky to have Billy Kelly, who's one of my biggest inspirations for this stuff. I was able to have him voice Dracula, which was sort of a last second addition, but it was so much fun to have him on it. He has a Halloween album that's incredible on his own called Ha Ha Halloween. Came out last year. And a big hit of that album in my life, a big hit of that album was a song where he was doing a big Dracula impression. So I thought, I've got to tie the universes together, make the Trevor Walls and Billy Kelly musical universe. So Dracula is voiced by Billy Kelly, I'm happy to report. And then there is Mummy. This whole EP, especially the first couple songs, really is reminiscent of records like Monster Mash. I think there was a huge genre for spooky novelty music in the 60s that has long since been forgotten, in my opinion, and I think it's unfair. Sure, we all know Monster Mash. We play some of the songs on the radio every year, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of weird, not that great, but funny, spooky songs from the 60s. And for me, this EP is sort of my take on that style. It was a lot of fun because holiday music is inherently commercial. It's not really, it's something that you're pushing at least a little bit. Nobody wakes up like, I've got to write this song about Christmas. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. I'm being a little negative, but um, I thought it was a fun challenge because I'm used to songs like Dino in My Pocket and Monsters Lament, those other solo songs I've released, kind of just came out of me, and they actually mean quite a great deal to me, and there's a lot of personal hidden meanings in those songs. This EP was sort of a challenge to write without that, and what if I have to write a song about a mummy tonight? And the song definitely sounds like it. I've been telling people it's definitely the silliest thing I've ever made. It's a little ridiculous, but I think it really pushes that feeling. It sort of lampoons that commercial 60s novelty feeling of weird Halloween songs. So it's my take on that. And it's also got an incredible verse by Mista Cookie Jar. CJ is a longtime friend of mine, probably almost a decade now we've known each other. So I was a kid when I met him. So we've been working on stuff for years and years and years, and it just wouldn't be a Trevor Walls project without having he was even on the Zing Zangs album, and that didn't have any guests.
I remember that. So. We featured one of those songs.
Yep, exactly. So there you go. And I'm constantly working. I don't know how much I want to say, but me and CJ are kind of working on a project of our own as well. It's sort of a concept Kindie musical album with a different name. It's not going to be by Trevor and Mista Cookie Jar. We'll see. I don't want to give away too much. But of course he's on it, and he did incredible. If any real hardcore Mista Cookie Jar fans happen to be listening, I will let you know the man is a poet and a genius, and has my favorite line on the EP in that rap. He says, "Sinister style, that's the name of my toilet paper. Call it a rap, then unearth me an era later." I thought that was the most genius thing I had ever heard. And he wrote, recorded, and produced and sent his part for that song in a span of 10 hours, which is just what? Like, I sent the song to him, and later that day, he sent me that verse. No changes, nothing needed to be fixed. It was just perfect, and I just slapped it in. A lot of this EP was sort of made in, like I said, I was kind of pushing myself as a challenge. I didn't know if it was actually going to come out. Hence why I reached out to you, Patrick. I was like, it's coming out now. Because it was sort of a last second challenge, and luckily I did finish all of the songs, but he was the first one to send anything. He just threw it at me, and I was like, this is perfect. And it's also got the Oots, who are my fellow Canadian band from British Columbia, which was sort of a full circle thing as well. I've been doing my own interviews a little bit on the Goober Hour, also on Jump 105.3, I should mention. So I think I lucked out. I was doing this, I think 18 interviews in 1 week or something like that. And I got to talk to so many friends. So it was also a game of, hey, you want to record something real quick for my EP? And I think that's where that one came from. But I'm just such a fan of the Oots. Their album, their most recent album, Ponderosa Bunchgrass, is just so insanely good. There's some Golden Rule and Once Upon a Dream, just beautiful songs that really they transcend Kindy, in my opinion. It's like these could just work as indie rock songs. So
I liked the song PJs All Day too. That's a good one.
It's so catchy. Yeah, no, they're the best. So it was a real honor to have them contribute to the EP as well. And then it kind of slows down. We've got Monsters Lament at the end, but there's also two real ones. I say real ones because ones that I wasn't making for the sake of a Halloween EP that just kind of happened. The first one is Love from the Lagoon, which is also sort of a musical number of woe. We've got the balance of happy and sad, which I think is what Halloween is all about for these monsters. It's from the perspective of the Gill Man in Creature from the Black Lagoon. Another thing that I pass every day. It's actually... I pass the lake that played the Black Lagoon every day when I'm giving my tour, and I think I could film a music video where they filmed the movie. I could do that. I should really get on that. But so that movie's always sort of in my mind. It's one of my favorites because, again, I don't like anything that's too scary, and I just love the novelty of that movie. And I think it's one of the greatest forbidden romances ever told is Gilman and Kay. And I believe, here's where my universal tour guide comes in, but a little bit of trivia. If there's any families or adults listening who know the movie The Shape of Water, directed by Guillermo del Toro, that was basically written by him as a fanfic about Creature from the Black Lagoon because he loved their romance so much that he made a full movie about it. So I remember as a kid, I was kind of devastated. It's like the Phantom of the Opera. Like he's a monster or whatever, but it is pretty sad that it doesn't end up with the one person he really loves. So it's a song from the perspective. Of course, he's a fish, so he shouldn't have, but I thought it would be fun to write from his perspective. So it uses some different key words from the movie. I think I mentioned the Rita, which is the ship that they sail on in the movie, and Kay, who is the girl who he's kind of after in that movie. And it's just a fun little song that I wrote pretty. That means a lot to me. I was able to really plant some real feelings into that one, which is my favorite thing to do for my Trevor stuff, is just to find the balance of something that means a lot to me and is coming from a personal place, but make it about something silly. That's always my favorite thing to do. All my friends know, like, they'll ask me, what is Dino in My Pocket really about? And I'm able to give them this deep, complex answer, but on the surface, it is a song about a dinosaur in someone's pocket. So I think this one is one of those. And another one of those is I Lost My Mind, which is the second last song on the album. That one was not written for this Halloween EP. It was just sort of, sometimes I make little cheeky ditties. The first one I ever made went viral on TikTok, which was a bit embarrassing for me, but it's just something I do. I tend to just write songs where I'm not trying to sing super well. It's just about the writing. It's sort of like diary songs. And I was just writing about something that's personal to me with that song. But when you listen to it, I listened to it back and I realized it really does. I made the joke about someone kind of losing their brain and not able to find it, literally, not on a metaphorical sense, but they literally lost it and are looking around for it. So that's kind of Halloween. I was like, that's probably an issue that Frankenstein's dealt with at least once or twice. So I stuck that as a little interlude as well. And that is the EP.
Awesome. All right. I love it. We're going to play it right now, start to finish. Here it is, Merry Halloween by Trevor Walls.
Woohoo.
All right. So.
The evening moon is burning bright. Abominable creatures rise to life. No more mourning. It's a lovely morning. Such a lovely morning. The witches brew up eyeball soup while Phoebe Bridgers plays on loop. Celebration with no expiration. 'Cause that day is finally here, where we fill our hearts with fear. The most dreadful time of year. Dracula's donning full cashmere. He can't see it in the mirror, or looking better in a hallowed pickled roast beef pile. We're all feeling gleesome. Don't ask where the meat's from. Do you hear what I hear? All the screams are so severe. The most dreadful time of year.
Take it, Frankie!
Humans run and yell as the monsters cheer. The gang's all here for the most dreadful time of the
This one goes out to my maker, wherever he may be.
Doctor, doctor, can I see you next? There is something that I'd like to confess. Life's pretty cool. I played by the rules. I tried to be a monster who was friendly and smart, but you came with forks and flame. Now I'll never be the same. Why'd you go and break my heart?
You think you got it bad? I fell in love with her the moment we met. It was an evening that I'll never forget. We went for a kiss. I slipped and I missed and accidentally bit her neck. Not smart. She's a vampire forever, but we'll never be together. Why'd you go and break my heart? Oh, Linda.
I'm in love with a gal, but she said I'm too wet.
When I see the full moon, I become my own pet.
I'm stuck haunting a person I don't even really like.
I have to deliver Christmas presents every single Christmas night.
Get out, Santa!
It's called Halloween.
You're not invited.
Halloween.
Everybody loves us in the midst of October. But when November hits, all the affection is over. We want a life of love and we're ready to start. Why'd you go and break our hearts?
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you go and break our hearts?
It's like you took a wooden stake to it.
Why'd you go and break our hearts?
Nailed it.
I'd creep up in the dark of night. If you don't see me coming, I might give you a fright.
'Cause I'm a mummy! Yeah, I'm a mummy! From the moment that I first came out of the tomb, I've been singing and dancing, entertaining the room. When my fans come to see me, they all put on a smile, 'cause they're all wrapped up in my sinister style. I'm a mummy!
Come on! Sinister style, that's the name of my toilet paper. Call it a rap, then unearth me an era later. Straight out the tomb, that zombie so lanky. Up in this room with that funk mad stanky. I don't get out much, it really ain't my cup of tea, but when I do, I party like it's 1999 BC. Now stick your arms out and swing them side to side. Everyone's stealing on my moves, really I don't mind. I guess I'm that cool, I guess I'm that good. I guess I caught you all staring, y'all got mad drool. Ew, why y'all acting all funny? I'm stunning. Ain't y'all ever seen a mummy?
I'm a mummy! I'm a mummy! Yeah, baby, I'm a mummy! Such a nice mummy! Ha ha! I've got bandages around me from head to to toe. People scream and swoon wherever I go. When I'm not rocking out at the music hall, you'll see me in the rapping aisle at the shopping mall. I'm a mummy-loving mummy! It's not always easy being a mummy, but most of the time it rips!
Did you know it's thought that the ancient Egyptians mummified cadavers in order to prepare the deceased for the afterlife, preserving the bodily form, which is why those old skins and bones have lasted so long.
I ain't some kind of dummy, I got rapping round my tummy. And if you think that's funny, go and run to your mummy. Just to clarify, when I say run to your mummy, I don't mean me, I mean mummy with an O. That's a common misunderstanding, so I just wanted to clarify. I'm a mummy!
Oh, my love, across the water, it's been too long since I saw her sailing the Rita ashore. From the moment I glanced, I knew there was a chance she'd be here in my mind evermore. She's probably with that doctor, and a ring he bought her. They always got along. She's on the land and no one holds my hand while I sing to myself this sad song. The water, I got just what I thought for, making a true love's wish. She's all that I know, it just goes to show, don't fall in love with the fish.
The other day I lost my mind, and I fear I'll never see it. I hear that minds are hard to find, they're in short supply. It's hard to think about the time I took for granted, knowing things I'd like to know. Now they've all let go. If anybody sees my brain, pretty please if you see it, let me know if it's okay. Also, what does it look like? And ask if it prefers the rain or sun to be 2 or 1. And tell it that I miss it from time to time. The other day I lost my... Nobody tucks a monster into bed. No one kisses a monster on its head. They just lie beneath you on the floor. They don't say a peep, no, not a roar. They just cry. Nobody lets a monster have a job. Everyone thinks a monster is a slob. They can type and write and dance and sing, but
one asks them to do anything, they just cry. Oh, they just cry.
Cry, 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 cry.
So next time you see a monster under the bed, say that they're okay and kiss their head. Tell them all the things they'd like to know, but make sure that they don't stub their toe, or else they'll cry. Yeah, they'll cry.
Cry, 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 cry.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that Merry Halloween EP. All right, Trevor, let us know, first of all, when is that coming out and where can people find it and how can people find you on social media and your website?
All right, I gotta go down the list. Okay, so Merry Halloween comes out October 7th. So that is just about 20 days to enjoy it. So really take it in for those 20 days before Halloween, 20 or so. And also you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, just everywhere you find music, legally or illegally. You'll find it there. And also, it'll probably be on YouTube and all of those things. And you can find me at trevorwalls.com. That's WALLS. And also, you can check out the Zing Zangs with their stuff just by Googling the Zing Zangs. And if you want to find some more of my kids' music stuff. But yeah, everything is on trevorwalls.com.
Awesome. And you can find Trevor Walls at Universal Studios in California.
Yeah, request Trevor, I guess. We'll see for how long. Maybe if you're listening to this in a year, maybe. We'll see. But
all right. Well, Trevor, thanks for coming on and talking to us again. And I look forward to talking to you again, whether as Trevor Walls or the Zing Zangs or whatever it is you and Mr. Cookie Jar have
I'll be
cooking
back.
up.
Indeed. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take care.